LaHood is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Werfel, welcome. Thanks for being here today. Let me start by echoing the concerns of many of my colleagues on the supplemental funding for the IRS received last year in the Democrats' IRA that disproportionately focuses on audits and enforcement over customer service and technological modernization. Like anything in the federal government, things need to be made more efficient, more effective, and more accountable, and that concerns me. Law-abiding families and small businesses in Illinois need their tax returns processed and phone calls answered. And we've heard immense frustration here today regarding the lack of that being done. We don't need more IRS agents knocking on their doors with burdensome audits. I want to focus my time today, though, on a specific provision included in the IRA, the $15 million in funding to study the feasibility of implementing the free direct e-file tax return system at the IRS. We've heard that the study is on track to be shared with us next month, and that it's likely that the group Code for America would be involved in this endeavor. At this time, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record an article from the Wall Street Journal dated April 26 yesterday titled "Cooking the IRS Study Books, the Tax Agency Wants to Decide What You Owe Before You Do." So approved. So approved. Thank you. Thank you. With that, in that article, as I'm sure you're well aware, Commissioner, it outlines that the IRS direct e-file system and the pending feasibility study are of grave concern. And I guess I'm trying to figure out the general premise behind the direct e-file study. As I look at the extensive list of already existing problems at the IRS and your plans that you have to focus on the coming years, and the fact that free e-filing services already exist in the market today, as you know, tax preparation industry already provides free filing services for roughly 30 million returns each year. So I'm not quite sure why trying to tackle this concept in the near term would be beneficial to the IRS, or more importantly, to the American taxpayers. Now, I know you're new coming into this, and I heard your comments earlier before, but don't you think the e-file effort could lead to the IRS biting off more than it can chew with all those things that I mentioned that you talked about, further complicating the tax filing experience?
Well, I would start by saying we have a responsibility to provide to meet different taxpayer preferences. Not everyone wants to engage in the IRS in the same way, and not everyone has the means or the position to do so. So we have to create this menu. The menu includes walk-in centers. The menu includes our IRS.gov platform, and working with the Free File Alliance and the third-party preparers. It involves advancements on the smartphone, as Congressman Schweikert was holding up his. The question I think being posed here is this an additional menu item for certain taxpayers to avail themselves of if that's the way they prefer to engage the IRS, this direct file? So the Congress said, study it. And my understanding of the congressional provision is, what would it cost? What are the taxpayers' opinions on it? And then an independent assessment of its feasibility. And that's what we'll produce in mid-May, and we'll come and we'll talk about it, and you'll have more grounding to ask me the tough questions.
Well, I understand that, and I understand the study, but obviously you're the new commissioner. You've had opportunity to digest this and look at this. What is your opinion?
Well, I don't want to get in front of the report itself, because the report's not done, and I don't want to get out in front of a report that isn't complete. My take on it is I want to make sure that we are meeting customers, taxpayers in this case, where they are. I think it's a best practice for an organization to not have a one-size-fits-all. I don't know yet whether the direct file solution is the right additional menu item to put in place so that taxpayers that prefer to engage that way can do it. What I'd like to do is have the report issue and then engage in a conversation with the right set of stakeholders and figure out what the go-forward is.
Well, I would just say, and we look forward to that conversation, but it appears to me that it seems very problematic, and the focus on the IRS should be those things we talked about: prioritizing customer service, modernizing technology. You have enough to do there. And so, again, we look forward to getting that study back and look forward to trying to do all we can to help make the IRS more efficient, effective, and accountable to the American people. I yield back.
Thank you.